Well, hello everybody, good evening. Welcome to another stream here at CRS. Live here this evening from Watkins, Glen International. We're taking part for the round 3 of the Formula 2 series here at Watkins, Glen. With me this evening, I'm back from joining me from Road Atlanta. We've got Adam from Black Box joining me this evening. Adam, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, fantastic. How is everybody out there? And how's your week been? It's been a couple of weeks. I was a bit busy last week, so what have I missed?
Well, obviously last week with Charlotte Motor Speedway, a really tricky race for I think everybody, but generally quite an exciting race. Matthew Lee pulled off an amazing feature race, lapping the whole field, which was quite impressive. And yeah, 2 race wins for Matthew Lee, and he's looking strong in practice for this particular race at Watkins Glen. We are going to be cutting to qualifying in just a moment. But obviously from Road Atlanta, Adam, you got to see some of the drivers and what they're capable of, and some drivers aren't here this evening. But what do you expect from some of the drivers that are here that race at Road Atlanta?
Excitement from start to finish, just like the last time. I mean, my word, it was all over the place, wasn't it? It's happening all over the track.
Yeah, it really
down through the S's was the, if I remember right, it's the S's is the one that was really catching everyone out on that event.
It was, and we have the S's here again this evening, going up the hill into the long straight before the chicane, and that's going to cause some drafting possibilities, I think. It's going to be a close one. Yeah, it's going to be close. Well, drivers I think are just getting about ready. Practice is just about finished. We will cut to qualifying in just a moment. But just a short word on obviously Black Box, Adam, and what you guys are producing at the minute. You're obviously in the middle of producing some more tracks. We've got IndyCar tracks ready to go from yourself as well. Ready for the IndyCar season.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
I am. I've both myself and Hector. Hector's listening and watching on YouTube right now. We're not actually streaming tonight. We're just coming through you guys. But yeah, he'll be out there. So hi to Hector. We've been putting together our event server and just kind of adding extra tracks. So we've added a load of rallycross tracks. We're now getting ready to add RX1 cars. So anyone interested in a bit of mixed surface hoonery, 5-minute races back to back, reverse grid on the second race, then they'll be running shortly. We've got a couple of new series starting as well next week, I believe, or the week after. I think we've got the Cupras and Skoda series coming. So anyone, 24 hours a day, you just want to go and race somebody, go on there. We're usually hanging about and always up for a challenge. So yeah, just jump onto the site and join us. Obviously, the mods are still growing. I think currently we're the largest site of mods out there. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, it really great work that you guys are doing as well at Black Box. It's really good.
It's a labour of love.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, I can agree with that and testify to that. But back to this evening. Obviously, we're using the Black Box version of Watkins Glen. Great circuit, Watkins Glen. A very classic circuit. It's been on the. It's one of the oldest American tracks, actually, I'd say. How do you think we're going to fare here? We've got a couple of drivers from practice. 32.4 looking like the fastest time, but a lot of people in the 33s and the 34s. Some drivers that we've not seen around for a while, Adam, and they're here this evening.
Well, I mean, what can I say? What's the track temp? Do we know what the track temperature is going to be like?
I think it's about 37 degrees on circuit, so it's going to be pretty
crikey.
warm. Yeah, it's going to be quite hot.
Empty your tyres out a bit so you don't over-pressurise your tyres, because you'll lose grip if you over-pressurise your tyres. It's a fine balance between tyre temperature and tyre pressure.
Yeah,
they need to be nicely balanced. Yeah. You can have the right pressure, but your tyres can be baked. And that's not good. So you got to really kind of fiddle around. I was recently taught a trick about altering your bump stops. So if you do suffer from hot tyres, then start fiddling around with your bumps, and that potentially can bring down your tires because you're not working them so hard. Or if they're not coming up to temperature, then tighten them up, and then you could potentially improve your tire temperatures there.
Yeah,
tire management.
Yeah. Well, qualifying's underway. Some of those drivers may have taken some of that advice previous from yourself. Some of these drivers still learning those setup quirks. I think this series being a completely open setup series, so everybody's got different setups on their car. Yeah, some of those settings will make a difference with these cars, I'd say, Adam. And going into this sprint race, if there are some drivers that maybe haven't got it quite right in the sprint race, they've got that second bite of the cherry in the feature race, haven't they?
Yeah.
So it makes sense a bit more fun. We see we've got Tim Brown right now. We were just watching, I think, Beth Stubbles, Tim Brown and Sean Smith. These two kind of close in the Charlotte Motor Speedway race in the feature, but it was Tim Brown and Paul Kitchener that fought pretty much race long, first 45 minutes. Sean getting out of the way there. Nice to see that from Sean, a bit of sportsmanship. Tim Brown now getting prepared for their qualification laps. Is Sean just going to take that space? I think he is. Matthew Lee starts his flying lap. We're waiting for the relative to come up on the screen. That should be with us in maybe a lap or so. So in the meantime, we keep an eye on Matthew Lee, the only Red Bull livery driver here. So easy to spot. No shenanigans like today at Hungaroring.
Oh my word!
Calm and collected than said driver in that car.
Yeah, that was interesting. There was a few choice words from Max Verstappen.
Yes, there's a few choice words. In the heat of the moment, even sim racing drivers can get like that, so we can never rule that out. But yeah, Matthew Lee looking. Oh, he's gone off.
Oh my god!
Oh, he's hit the barrier. Don't know what happened there.
It's like he just gave up.
Gone off there, and so we've kind of lost him.
I didn't see any smoke, so it didn't look like he'd locked up.
Not entirely
Maybe
sure
on
what
the
happened
steer.
there. Beth Stibbles in the pink WWT car performed really well at Charlotte Motor Speedway, actually. 2 P6 finishes. I say that, commentator's curse as she's gone round. Simon Mannion nearly collecting her there, but luckily I
Going
think
very wide off wide off the racing line, those cars there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're all going quite wide. They need to tuck in a bit tighter.
Simon Mannion.
Maybe they haven't got the rotation.
Simon Mannion starting a flying lap. Someone span in front there. I think there's a yellow flag.
Somebody did.
And we cut to Tim Brown. I think these Tim Brown has set a lap. It will pop up on the relative in a moment now. Just wait for that to pop up. That gives us a bit more detail on what you guys can see as well. But currently, Brown setting the quickest lap. Matthew Lee a lap down from everybody else due to that incident there. But he's come back out, I think. Mannion running very wide. And this circuit, Adam, the boot section is an extremely fun but challenging section as it travels uphill here.
Yeah,
it's a great track, but it's challenging. It has its challenges, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's I believe it's about maybe about 3.5 mile long. Hold on, I'll find out. Let's have a look. Google. Right, so long for the boot, 3.3 miles long, which is 5.5 kilometers. Grand Prix circuit, very fast in sections, challenging in others, but I don't know. I mean, I'd say you probably have a low downforce kind of package on your car for this would be advisable. Quite a lot of the corners, from my memory, is mid to late apexes is what you want to be aiming for. for your entry and exit. So you want to be kind of looking, depending on the corner, is kind of mid to late exits on your apex.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certainly nothing's tight enough to come in early, if you know what I mean. If anything, it's going to be more after the halfway point on the apexes, for sure.
Yeah, some of those drivers definitely doing that as well, as we see Sean Smith starts lap sometimes now up on the board. There we go. A lot more time popping up now. As it catches up for us, it's usually much better in the race.
Well, you can also see how as the cars are driving, they're sticking to the darkened part of the track, which is where you get the most grip.
Yeah.
On a dry circuit.
And
so
across the line to finish another lap, and that's a big improvement. 5/10 quicker than Matthew Lee at the moment. 32.4. It's a mega lap from Banslow. Beth Stibbles there. Beth Stibbles currently in last place at the moment. No, sorry, no, Kitchener is in last. Kitchener does have a qualifying ban, so we won't see Kitchener out on the grid. We won't see him out in the qualifying session, but we will see him out in the race and the preceding qualifying, so he's not missed too much really. As Mannion runs a little bit wide, Stibbles comes across the line 37.0, and she's got a bit more time that she needs to find. With about a minute to go, she's got a chance to set another lap. Matthew Lee currently up on his time, but it's not enough at the moment. Anslow's lap very strong in the late stages of this qualifying session, Adam, and Matthew Lee's got to pull something out of the bag here.
Well, they should be able to get down to a 130 on this track in those cars. So there's like 2.5 seconds there to fight for sure.
Well, these cars are down on power compared to what they should be, as Matthew Lee does a 32.0. So he puts himself 3 tenths in front. So yeah, these cars are slightly down on power to what they should be. Let's keep in line with that road to Indy feel. As Banslow puts another time in. Really not far away from Matthew Lee now, and that's probably
2
his
tenths.
run done. It's just 2 tenths. So it looks like the challenge for pole position may have been won by Matthew Lee. We'll have to wait and see. We've got 5 seconds left of the session. What's Simon Mannion going to be able to put in before the end? We won't know, but we'll see that as he crosses the line, though. Van der Pasch in the same liveried car, different number.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the race if we don't see someone putting a 129 in there somewhere.
Absolutely, with the low fuel and the track improvements. Absolutely.
Yeah, also don't forget, I mean, they've come out probably on, what, fresh tyres? So you need a couple of laps to really bid your tyres in before you can get really fast laps. Qualifying, you can rarely get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can rarely get that.
Van der Pasch wasn't there last week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So this is his returning race. Missed it last week. Did okay at Road Atlanta. Actually performed really well in the first qualifying. And getting himself in P4 on a really stacked grid, but looks like he's struggling a little bit with this car at this circuit. Down, he's done a 34. That puts him P6. As everyone else is back in the pits. Sean Smith can't really go much quicker. Struggling on setup. Struggling on his setup there, I'm guessing. And that's 3 seconds off the time.
You see the smoke coming off of those front brakes there, can't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. As they completely wear out. Van der Pasch pulled over to the side. He's probably going to return to the pits though. So that is your finishing order for the first qualifying of the evening. Adam, Matthew Lee, Banslow, Tim Brown in P3. Really good performance from Tim Brown there. Yeah.
I think judging by the qualifying times, I think there's going to be a battle between the front four for sure. Definitely those two, Banslow and Lee.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've got to mention the returning driver as well, who hasn't been here for a few weeks. Alex Kevil Davis. He's back on the grid and performing well with the P4 in that qualifying session, so getting back up to speed now with a VR headset. So definitely a difference, I'd say, in the VR aspect. That maybe changes things and maybe in some ways could slow you down, Adam. But I think.
Well, no. From what I've heard, it because you're so immersed, you can find those corners a lot tighter. I personally, I get car sick when I put the VR on.
I have that problem myself. Yes. Yes, I've had that problem.
It's just too real. My body's not moving, so it doesn't feel natural.
Yeah, it is a bit peculiar. It is a bit strange. But credit to Alex there, P4 on the grid. Simon Mannion with perhaps his best qualifying actually of the season. P5.
Yeah.
A really strong P5 from Simon Mannion, especially when he's ahead of the likes of Van der Pasch and Smith as well. Smith is usually up there or sort of in the midfield. Beth Stibble's there, P8, and Kitchener is going to be P9. It says me, but I will not be racing. Obviously, I'm here commentating this evening, so we will make sure that changes. But yeah, the lap time's kind of close in some places, but nice to see that there's probably going to be a battle between every two cars. Looking at the time difference.
Yeah, I think there's going to be two fights. So
yeah, it's going to be
interesting to see what tyres they go out on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what they're capable of. It'll be interesting to see what Paul Kitchener can do from the back of the grid. Can he maybe spring a surprise on Sean and Tom? And does Simon keep it consistent? A 34.0 was strong from Simon. That is the strongest performance I think he's had. So mega job from him. But Matthew Lee is your pole. He's your pole sitter.
Have we got forced pits on this event?
So this is the sprint race. So there's no pits in
no
this
forced
particular
pits.
race. There will be pits in the next race. So that's when things are going to get tasty.
Probably see some softs out there on the sprint then, we'll see.
Well, we've been hearing and seeing drivers that have said that super softs and softs are the best way to go. But
yeah, look at that, a whole good lineup, look at them.
now I need to do that. I need to remove myself once the race starts. But there we go. We've got Matthew Lee, P1. Sat strong. Good lap from Matthew Lee. Very, very close between him and this man, Banslow. Another strong performance from Banslow. Can tonight be the night that he maybe takes a win? Or could it be this man, Tim Brown? Could he get himself on the podium for maybe the second time this season? We'll wait and see. We've got 10 seconds still lights out. Alex Keppel-Davis, the returning driver. What can he do? We're going to find out as the lights come up with 6 lights. And off we go and we're away as the drivers all leave the grid. And it's a great start from everybody. Matthew Lee covering Banslow. Sean Smith trying to find the inside. Van der Pasch and Simon Mannion coming together and they've spanned. Someone has gone off. I think that's Van der Pasch. I can't be 100% sure. It could be Mannion. Kitchener joining in that. I think at the back. He's left from the back of the grid. Alex Keppel-Davis and oh my God, what was that? Huge accident at the back of the field.
Oh, two of them.
Accident.
So Stibble off there for sure. Stibble and Van.
I think that was Van der Pasch and Stibbles, but that was Keppel-Davis sort of getting side by side with Van der Pasch there, and I think he squeezed him a little bit. That might be reported after the race, but everybody is back underway. Unfortunate from some of those drivers, but they've got that feature race later on this evening to kind of make that up, Adam. These drivers now.
Lee's gone for the super soft, so he's the only car on the track with the super soft.
Yeah. He's pulling
You'll need
away.
to do some serious tyre management, but could be an interesting strategy.
And one thing we have missed is that Tim Brown overtook Banslow for P2. What can Banslow do? Meanwhile, those cars that came together They're all bunched back up in a group. So everybody's got somebody to race this evening. Paul Kitchener just hustling back off Beth Stibbles a little bit, trying to make that time back up, because it's Van der Pasch who's in front, and he does not want Van der Pasch to get away. So we'll see what Paul Kitchener does. He's going to be down the inside of Beth Stibbles. Is it going to cut away? No. Kitchener down the inside. Stibbles gives him room.
Oh.
Good move from Paul Kitchener there. But Stibbles now on the attack. Matthew Lee's gone off.
Oh, Lee's off.
Lee's off.
Gone very wide.
Extremely wide, and that's put Tim Brown. Oh my word, that's put Tim Brown and Banslow in the hunt. Have the super softs of Matthew Lee gone awry? Stibbles and I think that's Mannion going side by side. Mannion had to cut the course there a bit. Stibbles may argue that Mannion kept that position unfairly, but they are so close to coming together there. They're very fierce, even for last place currently in the field. They are fighting tooth and nail. No one wants to be the last car on track. Lee, Banslow now on the inside of Tim Brown. This race hot from the word go, and Tim Brown now on the inside of Banslow. Banslow's going to have to give him the space. Tim Brown on the inside. Oh, that was close. Great driving from Banslow to hold the speed around the outside. Beth Stibbles still attacking Mannion. It's great driving from these two. Some close action already. We're not even hit 5 minutes yet, Adam, and it's already crazy, right?
Hi.
Van der Pasch. Currently just doing his race. He's got that's Banslow now. For some reason we've got the tyres up on our screen. Don't quite know why. I'm going to ruin the immersion for a moment, because this needs to be fixed. Apologies. There we go. And we're back. There you go. Nothing ever happened.
No.
Well, that's a bit. That gives us a bit of a better picture of times now and how the race is starting to unfold. Beth Stibbles pressuring Kitchener. Kitchener made a mistake, so Kitchener not having a good sprint race, but could make some time. Matthew Lee with the new fastest lap, 32.6. Banzo with a 33.5. Tim Brown with a 34.2. So. Kevin Davis with a 34.4, so Davis perhaps on the hunt for an extra position of Sean Smith, who seems to be struggling. Van der Pasch has crossed the line for a 35.3. Mannion with a 35.4, so they're all relative on the pace. Stibbles managed to get past Kitchener. We've got a bit of a breather here, Adam, haven't we? And it was a crazy race at the start there, quite hectic, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the track's a lot faster track. The chances for overtake is they don't present themselves as often on this track as other tracks. As long as you keep it tidy, then it's quite easy to stay ahead. Yeah. If you see what I mean.
Absolutely.
Usually. The reason why someone may gain on you is because you've made a mistake.
Yeah. Usually that would be one of the reasons for it, is usually because you've made a mistake somewhere along the track.
Yeah.
I'm just watching Kitchener there. Alex Kevin Davis making his return, and he is hustling Sean Smith there. Looks like he may be going for a move. Sean Smith covering the inside.
He needs to get that draft. There he goes.
He's right alongside him.
Is he going to make it for the corner, though?
Is he going to make it? This is for position.
Yeah. Easy.
P4. And off he goes. Sean Smith, though. Not going to take that line down, and now he's got the draft as we come up through the S's. We hit that long back straight before the chicane. Sean Smith committing to the outside.
Has he got the momentum, though?
Yeah, has he?
Oh, maybe.
This is going to be a big moment from both drivers. Sean Smith having to back out there. I think Kevin Davis gave us a bit of space, but I think Sean had to concede that. That might give Kevin Davis a bit of breathing room. Meanwhile, Van der Pasch was in P3, and he's now moved down. He's P4. I think he's span.
Oh.
Not quite sure where. Oh no, he has span because he's completely.
Oh, he's dropping right back.
He's dropping like a stone.
Something's happened.
Yeah. And here we go. Look, we can a rare sight this evening. Our leader dominated at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Not so here, because he is being pressurised by Banslow in P2. So it's good to see that there is a close battle going on. I think Kevin Davis is getting his mojo back now. He's pulled a gap on Sean.
Oh, who was that in the pink?
It was Stibbles. Kitchen has pulled away from Stibbles now, so I think Stibbles is just
having problems out the back there, isn't he?
Yeah. Having a few problems. That with Kevin Davis.
The tyres should be well bedded in by now, so they shouldn't be having so many track grip problems. I would expect to start seeing some times coming down.
We've got some to see that too, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. P2 there, Banslow. Matt is in frame, very briefly. He's not completely got away from him. Here's the driver we've been waiting to see.
The car looks fine.
It looks okay to me. Maybe he had a spin somewhere off camera. Somewhere that we couldn't see.
No serious damage though to the car by the looks of it.
Looks all okay. Now you can see the car when Matthew Lee comes onto the start-finish straight. That's 4.3 seconds, but Banslow is in shot in the back there. One mistake from Lee, and this could all change for him. So being consistent is going to be key. Got 5 minutes left of this race already. It's been a fast sprint race, challenging for some of the drivers. We had a rough start, but some incidents to be looked after the race, Adam, and some incidents that maybe were put down to maybe racing incidents as well.
Oh, I'd certainly like to see the replay of what happened there at the start. There were cars going all over the place.
Absolutely, yeah. There was a lot of cars and a lot of spaces. I think it was the two Uralkali cars, the high-tech ones coming together. This driver.
Oh, he's gone off.
Oh, that was close. Van der Pasch getting loose through the chicane. So he heated the tyres up too much.
Maybe. If your tyres get hot, they get slippery. Really slippery.
Yeah, absolutely they do.
It's worth hanging back for 2 or 3 laps just to kind of let the tyres go down if that's the case.
What's great to see here, actually, Adam, is the times. While every car was split by 5 or 7 seconds, it's not in the double figures this evening. Everybody is within range of the next driver if that driver makes a mistake, and that lends itself to some good racing for the feature race.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I am still surprised though that we're still in the 132s though.
I am as well, actually. Might we see a last push lap from Lee as he pulls now 6-second gap on Banslow, so Banslow's starting to lose some time. I think that chance of racing for the win has gone. It depends how fast Lee pushes and how much he pushes, because if he pushes too much, it could go wrong. Mannion catching back up with Van der Pasch. I bet he feels good this evening. Beth Stibbles having a bit of a struggle in this race.
Dear.
Not been lapped though. Let's get back on the horse and go. You've got just under 3 minutes. She's got just under 3 minutes there to make up any time at all. Kitchener just coming through the shot there at the bottom, but looks like this battle may go to the end if Mannion can just keep Van der Pasch sort of in sight. These two drivers haven't raced wheel to wheel that much against each other, so this could be a learning experience. But if it's clean, can Mannion do something? I think he can.
Okay, we're coming down to the last 2 laps now.
Last couple of laps of this short sprint race. Obviously, we have another qualifying and a feature race to come, so make sure you stay with us for that. Should be quite interesting indeed. This is an interesting battle though. This isn't a battle I was expecting to see this evening. Credit to both of those drivers for giving us a close battle, because they are fighting each other here. People seem to forget that you don't have to be wheel to wheel to fight each other, do you? Sometimes you can be a bit further back. The pressure and the concentration wavers slightly, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I know. If you can apply the pressure from behind, then that can then force the driver in front to, well, like we were saying earlier, make a mistake. I know I did something very similar last night in our Clio race. Hector was all over my rear view mirrors and I couldn't keep my eyes off the mirrors, so I eventually went wide and nearly ended up handing the race to him. So
that could happen. Here, as Mannion is definitely getting closer to Van der Pasch. It's the closest battle on the circuit as well. That is why we are sat with them so much. We will cut to Matthew Lee as he comes. He's started the last lap already, so we will cut to him when he comes around the last few corners.
Yeah, Van der Pasch will be defending his position at this point.
Absolutely. Sean Smith,
wondering what's going to happen.
Sean Smith dropped off Kevin Davis quite considerably, and now even he is there. Mannion running wide, but who got the better exit? And it's like Mannion now. He's got a run here.
It's a race to the line.
Is Mannion going to go for a move here? The Scottish driver going against the Dutch driver.
Yes.
No, backs out of it. That was actually really good driving. Mannion has another couple of chances. We're going to miss the end of this battle, because in just a few moments here we are. We're going to cut to race 1 winner. Comes through the final corner. Only 6 seconds to the guy behind Banslow, but Matthew Lee taking another race win here at Watkins Glen International. The man behind, there he is, Banslow, P2. Another good performance and another podium from Banslow. And Tim Brown, a podium in Formula 2. And he's going to be really excited by that. And we're going to be hearing from these drivers very shortly in the commentary booth. Alex Kevil Davis with a P4. A strong performance from Kevil Davis. And these guys coming round the last corners. And actually, it's extremely close. But Sean Smith is going to bag P5. Don't think he expected that with the qualifying that he did. And it's going to be Van der Pasch and Simon Mannion battling to the flag. Kitchener, PA, and Stibbles is still, I think, partway around the circuit. So we'll cut to Stibbles any moment. But a great race from those drivers, as we just see Stibbles now just finishing up the lap. a struggling race from Stibbles there, Adam. But the rest of the field, I mean, that was extremely close, despite it being.
But no surprise who was at the front though, based on the qualifying results.
No surprise.
So I am surprised that Van der Pas ended up so far down. I'd like to know what happened halfway through the race there, because he dropped a lot of places. He
did drop a lot of places indeed, and so we will find out very soon off some of the. We will get to chat to some of the drivers now. So. Going to wait for the drivers to join the commentary box. A good race, a close one from everyone. Adam, and as we wait for the drivers to wait for all the drivers to join us. What was your view on that?
Not as exciting as the last race I attended by any stretch of the imagination. Really want to know what happened at the start. There was a lot of carnage off the start line into the first corner, the usual cluster as we tend to expect in events. Also, Van der Pas dropping so many places, that must have been an epic off. I'm not really sure. Maybe he got stuck on the in the sand or on the grass, but yeah, I would love to know more about that.
Yeah, I would as well, definitely. Well, here we are. We've got the top 3 in the chat with us now. Guys, fantastic racing. Some really close racing from everyone, and really good qualifying as well. We'll just chat to P3, Tim Brown. I think you're quite ecstatic with that performance this evening. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, really excited, really happy. It's been building for the last couple of races, and yeah, it's there.
Congratulations on your P3, definitely deserved a good qualifying as well. Adam, anything you'd like to ask?
Yeah, no, well done to that, well done.
Amazing job. Banslow, another P2, close but not quite close enough, but another P2 for you there. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied. Matt was again out of this world, so but at least he didn't let me this time, so I'm happy with that.
Well done with that, and it was a good race. Still very close to Matt there, but not quite close enough. Like I say, that 6-second gap was all it was. Do you think maybe you had him near the beginning there with the mistake that he made?
Yeah, I have pretty terrible straight line speed, so it was for Tim easy to take me.
And first place, another win in the Formula 2 series at the sprint race here at Watkins Glen. Matt, the P1, how are you feeling about that? Good pace for yourself. A mistake at the beginning there. Curious to know what happened.
Yeah, I was lucky that these guys were squabbling behind me. Believe it or not, I didn't take enough curb at the chicane, and it nearly put me round. But yeah, I was lucky that they were fighting. Yeah.
A great race from you. Well done for another win. Really, pretty much almost securing the Formula 2 championship with only a few rounds to go. But yeah, mega job. Adam, any questions you'd like to ask before we move on to our next race?
Just like to kind of find out from the guys what sort of downforce package they were running, and did they pick the right tyres?
Matt?
I'm running quite a low downforce, and my choice for the super softs for the sprint race was sort of like a trial to see how they blast for the feature.
Okay. Fancy? Or Tim?
I'm running pretty high downforce, and I was pretty much determined to do softs because it's the best tire for me for the race.
Tim, you like to add anything to that? No?
Yes, I muted myself. Sorry. I'm running lower downforce, but not low. I didn't go super soft. I didn't think they would last 10, 11 laps. I was getting 7, 8 on the felt very dead, so I went soft because I knew they weren't like 15.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I saw Super Soft, so I was like, ooh, this guy's either really good with his tyre management or he's got God on his side.
Yeah, it was that half spin on lap 2 didn't help the tyre management, I'll be honest, but got them back under control and yeah, good useful information.
Well, folks,
Yeah.
thanks very much. It's been a great first race of the evening. We're going to be heading over to the feature race very soon. Wish you all the best of luck. Hope to speak to you again in the post-race commentary for the next race. I'm sure you guys want to be here as well. So, yeah, thanks very much. Head back to the driver's briefing in the meantime, and have a good second race. Well, Adam, some good words there from some of the drivers, and interesting there to learn a bit more about the downforce packages and the tyres of some of those drivers.
Yeah. I mean, there's not any particularly high-speed corners on the track, so having high downforce, so a lot of downforce on your car, I really cannot see the benefit on this particular track. So it was an interesting choice. I expected more mid package, or even particularly, a low downforce so just see you haven't got to fight the forces of the car being pushed into the tarmac. You can generate more forward motion a lot faster top end that way.
Yeah, interesting to learn. Maybe some of these drivers might have changed their approach for the next race because of what they've learned from others. So we'll definitely see. But we've got the feature race coming up in a few moments' time. But in the meantime, I'm just going to give you a quick CRS intro, just to tide over until we get ready for the next qualifying session here at Watkins Glen International. So we're back, guys. So just a little bit about CRS. We've been around for a few years, and this season we bring our 4th IndyCar season. We're doing it alongside Adam, who joined us this evening as co-commentator. Adam, and the CRS IndyCar season is gonna be exciting, isn't it? It's gonna have it's got a few circuits in there that are IndyCar favourites, like Pocono and Alabama, but there's some other circuits in there that are challenging.
Yeah, which is what makes this particular series quite an exciting event. I've actually got an interesting piece of historical information about Watkins Glen, seeing as I did it for the last while. I thought I'd drop this one in. The first United States Grand Prix was held at Watkins Glen in 1961. 7 American drivers entered, but the event was won by a Brit in a Lotus. So there you go.
Well, there you go. Brits always being quick. There's quite a few Brits on the grid tonight, but a few non-Brits as well on the grid. It's quite diverse on the F2 grid. There's definitely some different nationalities. Dutch. There's a Dutch driver and can't remember where Banzo's from exactly. Apologies, Banzo. You need to remind me next time you talk to me. Yeah, we're just practice almost over, so... Go on, you were going to say something, Ad?
Yeah, no, I was just saying next time we'll have to get some driver bios so we can spread some gossip about some of these drivers.
Yep, well that's coming for the IndyCars.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be a whole host as the start of this stream. It's just the early days, folks, but going into the IndyCar, you're going to see a lot more information on, especially some of the drivers that are racing this evening. So make sure you're tuned in and watching as practice is over. So we are going to jump over any moment now.
This is what we want.
We cut to Sean hitting the barrier.
That was unfortunate.
It was unfortunate. I think all the drivers now. End of practice. Some lap times in there that are perhaps valid. Some not so much. Drivers maybe not trying to give away too much. But this is a longer qualifying now, Adam. And what does that do for approaching this next session when it's a bit longer?
For the qualifying?
Yeah.
Not really that much. Basically, I mean, qualifying is qualifying. Go out there, set your best time, and then come in and wait, and hope that nobody else beats you. Yeah, there's not really much strategy to it. Some people like to go out first and get it over and done with. The problem with that is you set a precedence, and people will then obviously, your other drivers are going to see what sort of times they need to go after, and that can cause obviously you to have to go out again later. Other drivers wait until the last minute to go out once a few lap times been set, so they know what they're going for.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every driver, each to his own. I personally go out, try and set the fastest lap in as fewer laps as possible, and then sit and relax, ready for the race, so I can concentrate on the event itself more. Yeah,
that's a good point. And obviously, the driver's mind's going towards obviously the longest race of the evening, the 45-minute race. How do you think people will be approaching that? We saw some strategies, obviously, in Road Atlanta and Charlotte Motor Speedway, where just some drivers stopped towards the beginning and some drivers stopped towards the end.
Yeah. Again, it's a lot of it can be down to personal preference. I mean, a one-stop strategy is all that's required. You could probably get away with a two-stop strategy, but you'd be cutting it close. You're better off just like one stop. Probably start out in the hard or the mediums and see how long you can get. Keep on those. So you got the fresher tires near the end when everyone else's tires are degrading. But it's just, look at this! Everybody's going out at the same time.
Everybody out at the same
That's
time.
what we like to see. Now the problem with this is you're going to start finding that cars are going to be in the way. A staggered exit from the pit is always preferable. You want nice clean air in front of you. You don't want to be really kind of stuck behind anyone.
He's already racing to get past.
Yeah.
Hanslow there. I think he wants. He's gone. He's lost it.
And there we go. And that's what happens.
I think a return to the pits is the best idea.
Definitely, because you have flat spotted tyres, and that'd be horrendous for a qualifying lap.
Well, that's given Banslow that space, and Kevin Davis has given Banslow some room. So that room that you were talking about there, Adam, that's now opened up for those drivers, thanks to Sean being a bit overeager there.
Yeah, I definitely would say he was somewhat eager beaver. But like I said, I mean, if you all come out at the same time, then it's just going to be a nightmare. I mean, you might think you're going to get a tow, but for those first two laps, you're not going to be setting any record-breaking times. So you're best off, if you catch up with someone and you manage to get a draft, then fine. If you get a pull, a tow from someone on your qualifying lap, fantastic. But you shouldn't rely on that.
How valuable do you think that is around here, though, with a lot of straight lines and everything?
What, getting a tow?
Yeah.
I think it's definitely possible if it's timed right. You got someone coming out on an out lap and they're trying to build up speed, and you just happen to catch up with them and then take a little bit of a time. I mean, you could be talking like, I don't know, a couple of hundredths a second off your lap, which could be the difference between first and second.
Absolutely, it could be, and it's been very close this evening. But this man is by far the strongest. I don't quite know what's going on. Oh, there we go. Matthew Lee, our current championship leader, and I'd say looking strong, looking like he's probably going to take the Formula 2 series, but I'd say that the field has gotten closer since the start of the Formula road to Indy series in general, and to see some of the drivers closer to Matt is encouraging, isn't it, really, for the Indy cars?
Yeah, I mean, they're all on their out laps now. I'm waiting for someone to set their first time.
Matthew Lee sets at 31.8.
That's more like it.
Banslow 1.4 seconds off. Kevin Davis with a 1.6, but those are the early laps, and we're going to see
This is it.
stronger laps
The
from these
tyres-
guys.
Yeah, the tyres will get better and better over the next couple of laps. So the lap time should start to come down.
Should do.
And now they've got a time, Lee's time is the time to beat. So now everyone knows where they need to pick up time and you know, what to aim for.
Yeah, it's a tricky game to play sometimes, chasing someone else's lap time. Sometimes you want to just remain within your own time. It seems like we have a yellow flag on circuit. I think that's why the qualifying sign is yellow rather than the regular blue. But
Car number 9
life of me,
is
and that would be me.
no.
Stibbles is in the pits. I'm not entirely sure why we've got a yellow flag. Again, we'll cut into that just for some reason. I don't know what's going quite wrong, but it will cut back to. There we go. Banslow. Yeah, no more. There's no. Doesn't seem to be a yellow flag now, so perhaps that was my car. Apologies.
And Banslow's just set a new time. Is only 8 tenths behind, 8.5 tenths behind.
Matthew Lee currently in the pits. He's coming back out now. Oh, Tim Brown clipped the wall on the way out of there. That might have been validated about that time. We'll have to wait and see. Mannion, good performance in the last race. He's chasing someone else down, Van der Pasch. Sean Smith says he's struggling a little bit, perhaps. Struggling with the car, do you reckon, or just maybe hasn't got the right setup for this particular track?
Oh, hard to tell. Hard to tell.
It's difficult to tell, isn't it, without us being there.
Oh.
Looks like he's pulling over. I mean, it's a funny way to pull over, but he's done it. Maybe he's struggling with this car, but other drivers.
Maybe he's made a change to the setup and it's just not bedding in for him.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right there. Tim Brown. Podium in the last race, obviously. Quite confident. Sounded quite confident, looking like he'd been building up to that podium, Adam. It was quite nice to hear from him that he was felt like he'd been building up to that. I think he Would you agree? It's been coming for a while, that hasn't it?
Yeah. No, definitely. Putting the hours and it pays off in the end.
It does indeed. And some of these drivers will put in quite a few hours during the week. It does not go unseen by some people. That some of these drivers really do work hard. Even if the race goes wrong, the work is not lost, because next year you come back and you try again. Matthew really keeping it pinned through the chicane. As he travels
Very tidy. Very
nice
tidy.
through there and enters the boot section. This corner challenging downhill.
He's got a perfect racing line going on.
It looks fantastic, really nice and smooth.
Yeah.
Matthew Lee, definitely he has driven a lot of Formula cars. Also raced in GT cars, and he's doing a fantastic job. He's been doing a fantastic job in GT and LMH cars and LMP2. Racing here this evening in this Formula 2 car and showing that he can drive this as well. Quite impressive, really. Banslow only 8/10 off. Still got some time to make up. Oh, Matthew Lee clips the wall. I think his time is safe for now, but that's got to be a return to pits. Has he got enough time to get back out? Or has somebody else got the chance to challenge for that pole position? Banslow is still out on circuit. I don't think Matthew Lee has got enough time to come back out.
At this stage, he doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to, but if
I
Banslow
think he's
hooks
proved
this
his
up,
point.
if Banslow can hook a lap up on this final lap, we could see something. Kevil Davis with a P3 at the moment. Kitchener with a P4. I don't know where that Kitchener's come from with that pace, but he didn't qualify obviously in the last race, so maybe it was always there. But
Again, you're all kind of close in the first four there, haven't you?
yeah,
In fact, Kitchen and Brown looks to see there could be a battle between those two in the upcoming race.
there really could be. It's less than a second between them. Sean Smith coming through, been struggling. This could be a good lap time. It's a 35. Is it an improvement? Ever so slightly. He's got a bit more time to complete another lap if he needs to. Kevil Davis, can Kevil Davis challenge Banslow?
Oh, he did the same. I think that's exactly what happened to Lee.
I think the tyre's getting very hot on the last lap. Tim Brown coming through the final corner now. What's Tim Brown got? And it's 33, and he moves himself up past Kitchener. Kitchener crosses the line, and Kitchener doesn't improve. Simon Mannion, a good performance from Simon Mannion yet again, and another good lap time, and he puts himself P6.
Very good, nice.
34.5. Strong from the Scot, who's been struggling in some points. Van der Pasch, I think, still on. Yep, this is definitely a valid lap. All eyes now on Van der Pasch.
Oh,
Sean
that was
Smith,
wide.
Beth Stibbles,
That was
they are
definitely
still
that would have to. I'd say that was a track violation there by Van der Pasch.
out. Could be, possibly, yeah.
I'd say that was definitely over the limit. So that lap time probably won't count.
Stibbles still trying to get the hang.
And that's definitely.
I think that was definitely track limits. I think.
Yeah.
Whatever the lap.
That'll be track limits.
As Van der
So
Pasch, has he kept his lap?
he's still going.
We
So
will see.
maybe the stewards haven't called it. It looked wide to me though.
If it's still on, it looks good though. He looks like he's definitely on the racing line. He's not holding back. Has he got anything to give in the final corner? He needs to do it. Match 31.8. Unlikely to reach that 31.8. But what's it going to be? It's a 35.0 and puts himself
look
in
at that,
front of
nice.
Sean Smith. Only just. And
Yeah.
a good lap from Van der Pasch to secure that. Tim Brown crosses the line. Puts himself P4, securing that P4 slot. Nice job from Tim Brown. Van der Pasch pulling over into the slip road. Returning to pits. And there we go, Adam. Another fast and furious qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must admit, on this event, I expected Van der Pasch to do slightly better.
Yeah.
Than he has done. He struggled on this race.
Matthew Lee with the P1.
Yeah,
with the P2.
fantastic.
Kevin Davis on his return, P3 for the feature race qualifying, Adam.
Yeah, and if you look at it, I mean, it's going to be close between those top three.
Yeah, I think it
for
is.
sure. And Brown and Kitchener, I mean, that time is close.
It is extremely close. As we wait for the countdown before the race, so it's going to be a close one. It's 45 minutes, and we've got that.
It certainly looks like we'll have mid-race battles and some obviously some battles at the front end. We would hope. But certainly, I think we'll be focusing mostly midfield on this race.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think Matthew Lee is definitely on another level at the moment in these cars. Definitely has found some security within that setup. Definitely Banslow is starting to cause a stir. Could push Matthew Lee to make a mistake. I would not be surprised if Banslow maybe comes out with a win before the end of this Formula 2 season, but Matthew Lee definitely the strongest customer in the field. Yeah, my standout surprise so far this week is going to be Tim Brown with that podium, and he's challenging. He's close to Kevin Davis in the qualifying. It's a good job from Tim, really, and the last few races he's been a bit further down, so to see him racing the likes of Alex Kevin Davis at the front, it's a bit more promising for him, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I was just looking at the tyre selections there. So we had a couple of guys on mediums midfield, so that's interesting. Tim Brown was on mediums.
Kitchener on mediums also at the moment. Mannion has just gone to soft tyres. Matthew Lee starting on the softs as well. And Banslow and Davis there on the softs. And then Stibbles and Sean Smith. Van der Pasch there on the softs as well. So Tim Brown, Paul Kitchener maybe going for a change of a different style of race here for this 45 minutes.
Yeah, if they can stay out longer and then get a nice gap built, then I don't know, it could work. Interesting. I mean, like we said, that the track is hot. The track is hot, and mediums will stick nicely to hot tarmac.
Yeah, they definitely will. Well, we've got 1 minute left to go. 45 seconds until lights out, and it's Matthew Lee in pole position yet again for another race here this evening, and he is pole position for the feature race alongside Banslow. Yet again, it's a repeat of the sprint race, but make no mistakes, this could be a heated battle. Alex Kevin Davis with a surprise P3, and he'll be happy with that P3 in the podium. Can he secure that and take that to the end? Tim Brown, last race's P3 sitter. Can he secure another P3? He's going to be racing Kevin Davis for that. We've got 6 lights to go. We've got Kitchener there in shot. 6 lights counting down. And we are off for the final race of the evening here at Watkins Glen. And it's a messy start from one of the drivers, but looks like Banslow is going to be on the outside of Matthew Lee. And he's gone around the outside of Matthew Lee straight away. And it's Banslow who leads from Matthew Lee early on. And that's amazing, isn't it? That's a really good start. Banslow having to hold off on Matthew Lee. Matthew Lee's got that lower downforce package. Banslow's going to have to tuck in and maybe wait for his moment. He knows that Matthew Lee's got that stronger package. Meanwhile, in the background, Kevin Davis and Tim Brown fighting each other for position. Did they come out the other side? They did. Matthew Lee did not get a good start. That's why he struggled. I think Kevin Davis having to look around the outside of Tim Brown. But Tim with another good start, and he now just needs to try and secure this. Remember, this 45-minute race with a pit stop. These drivers have got to make sure that they have a really good race from start to finish. Minimise those mistakes. That sprint race was all about lights the flag. This is going to take...
Stibble's going for it. Stibble just took Van der Pash.
Yeah, Van der Pash. And Tim Brown's gone.
Brown's off.
Oh, no. As I'm saying, that mistakes don't need to be made. Oh, dear, Tim. That's going to be a bit of a... I think it's Kitchener at the back for some reason. Not entirely sure why. Stibble's now P5. He's going to be wanting to hold that for as long as possible. But Van der Pash, actually right behind and hunting already very early in this race.
Brown's got a lot of work to make up now after that spin.
Awful lot of work for Brown indeed. Last in the field after that spin on those mediums.
Is that Mannion?
Mannion and Van der Pash going wheel to wheel. Mannion overtakes Van der Pash to the inside. Mannion gives him the room. This is great racing from the Scot. Now he's boxed in now. He's got to go somewhere and there's contact. Oh! Beth Stibbles was the meat in the middle of that sandwich there. I don't think that was intentional from either driver. Extremely unfortunate. Definitely, I'd put that down to a racing incident there. Everyone was trying to get a position. I'm not sure who moved where, but that may be looked at after the race is finished. Brown coming back at Sean Smith. Is he going to get on the inside? Oh, he looked for it. But not quite. What a feisty start to the race. Adam.
Yeah, still 42 minutes to go.
Yeah, we've got 42 minutes to go. I'm already out of breath. What an amazing start to this fantastic feature race.
Smith and Brown going at it there, side by side. Oh.
Extremely close.
So close.
So close.
They're still going at it, look.
Matthew Lee sets the fastest lap so far.
These two guys.
This is fantastic racing. Sean hunting Tim Brown. Sean, the only liveried car on the grid to not have any particular livery on it. She's decided to choose a blank car. Definitely stands out though. We always know who it is. Paul Kitchener. And the I can't remember which car that is. That may be Dam's.
KFC. Looks like KFC.
Yeah.
KFC
was
livery.
KFC. Tim Brown in that red Prema. Sean losing time now to Tim as Sean loses it.
Oh, there we go.
That's going to have heat his tire up quite a bit. He's going to get back underway. He knows this race is anything but done. Is Beth Stibbles already in the pits? Has she stopped early, or is that a race retirement? It would be a shame to see a race retirement, wouldn't it, at this point in the race?
Oh yeah, there's 40 minutes to go. It's only just started.
And she comes into the box. This may be an early stop. That looks like it may be a scheduled stop for her. This early stage, that would be quite a shock. But
it would be, yeah, it really would be. Maybe
might help in some ways, getting away from.
She
all
may
that
have.
traffic.
It may be a quick tire change because she flat spotted her tires. If you flat spot your tires, then that can really cause problems.
Well, she's come back out on the hard tyres, so that's Beth Stibbles done for pits. Have to wait and see what she's capable of doing when everybody else makes their pit stop. As I think was that Van der Pash. That was Van der Pash getting a little bit wide out of turn one, and that gives Tim Brown a sniff of a bit of blood in the water. Simon Mannion currently P4. A fantastic race from Simon Mannion so far. P4, 6 seconds away from Kevin Davis, and he's got a 4-second gap. Adam, did you expect?
Yeah.
No. Not to be against Simon, but I did not expect to see that performance today, and it's great to see it. It's fantastic to see it.
It'll be interesting to see if he can keep that 4-second gap for the whole race. So, like I said, we've only just started, so anything can happen. Anything can happen. If he was to spin out, I mean, you can lose 10 seconds. So
Yeah.
and that instantly puts you back to what, P7.
Does indeed.
Stibble's at 120, so she's been lapped already.
Yeah, Stibble's having to just move out of the way of everyone, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And does so in a unique way, but does it all the same. Those three up the front, though. That's close between those three, just in front of Stibbles. Tim Brown,
Smith,
hunting
and
down Van der Pasch, and Kitchener. Smith has fallen way off the back of Tim Brown now. 40 seconds. Definitely from that mistake that he made. Tim Brown is up behind Van der Pasch. What has he got? Still early. You don't have to go making crazy moves this early on, do you, really? It's
No.
all about care and consideration. Be smart. But Tim Brown,
Pick your battles.
they do go side by side. It's a
Through the
great-
chicane.
Great side by side battle from both of those drivers.
That was epic.
And Tim
that
Brown gets
was
the best of
epic.
him. That was fantastic driving from both of them.
Yeah.
Great wheel to wheel.
That's got to be an overtake of the race. Oh, Smith.
That's Sean in.
Tyre change already?
He liked to call himself Sean Smythe earlier. So
Okay,
you could call him
Sean
Sean.
Smythe.
Kevin Davis just sitting pretty in P3 right now. Mannion 5 seconds away. There he is in the background there, just coming through shot.
Yeah, the pack's starting to open up for sure.
That's the battle for Tim Brown, between Tim Brown and Van der Pasch. Van der Pasch just loses it a bit. Collects it, carries on. But that's cost
Nicely
him.
done.
That's cost him that position though, big time. Isn't going to be fighting that back. He's going to have to catch back up to Tim. Let's see if Van der Pasch can do that.
Sean Smith is still in the pits.
Sean, yeah,
Yeah.
still in the pits.
Oh, that's interesting.
Stibble's going to get her place back.
Yeah.
As he comes back out, he's out of the pits
As
now.
he comes out.
So actually,
Interesting. I wonder if he had some aero damage that he needed to fix, or engine damage.
possibly something to fix, but now on hard tyres. So is that the way to go here this evening in the feature race? Are those hard tyres the ones that they want? Some drivers starting on those mediums, will they go to softs? That could be the question. Kitchener looking strong on those mediums right now though, Adam.
Yeah. I mean, it's I'd say starting on the mediums and then heading for the softs for the last few laps of the race is the way that I'd play it. Or even hard in the softs in the last few laps, and really make drag those tyres out as long as I can make them last, and yeah, then just put all my effort into the last few laps.
Yeah, I think that's what some of the drivers are doing. Paul Kitchener getting
That was close
very
to the wall.
close to the wall. It was extremely close. He got away with it. That's what matters. Sean Smith comes out of the pits. He is 3 seconds. There he is. He's 3 seconds behind Stibbles. So the race isn't over for Stibbles.
No.
Something to fight for here. She thought maybe that was gone. Well, now the challenge is keep Sean Smith behind. 35 minutes to do that. Meanwhile, Paul Kitchener pulling a bit of a gap now on Tim Brown. Oh, and that's Cable Davis. He's gone off. Oh no, this is not good for Cable Davis. Mannion. The gap between him and Mannion was not much. And Mannion now. Could Mannion grab a podium here this evening? There's still a pit stop. But could Mannion maintain a really good race pace here? Because this is fantastic from Mannion so far. 6 seconds now the gap to Kitchener. It was 4. You know, he's doing a good job, is Mannion. This is a good reprise from someone who has struggled.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested in the 13-second gap that Kevil's got behind Banslow. So, there's no way that that car got away scot-free. So how's that going to affect the next couple of laps? And is that going to give Mannion an opportunity to pass?
Yeah, definitely before the pit stops as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Both of those drivers on soft tyres. So if they're going to pit, then they're probably going to pit around the same time, I'd say. So will Mannion just follow Kevin Davis into the pits, mirror him, and just keep this pace? Because right now, this is a good job.
Yeah, I mean the gap's fairly consistent of about a second between the two. So yeah, not sure what the strategy for the driver would be here. Really.
The speed trap, 284.7 kilometers an hour. Extremely fast. Despite the engine being lowered on this, these cars still reaching extremely high speeds, and this circuit isn't one to fool around with. We said that earlier. Mannion losing a bit of time now to Kevin Davis.
Yeah, no, I mean if you come off the line, this track can be very unforgiving.
Yeah, it can be. So the pits are open for another 30 minutes. So plenty of time for the rest of these drivers to make their stops. Only Stibbles and Smith stopped so far. They are on the hard tyres. Meanwhile, Matthew Lee sets the new fastest lap of the race. He's on those soft tyres, with Banslow also on the softs. We've not really seen either of much of those two. The battle we have been seeing, though, is between these two. Well, it's Kevin Davis in front of this man in your frame. Oh, no, not this man in your frame. This is Van der Pasch. The man in your frame previous was his teammate, Simon Mannion, who is doing a fantastic job. As we said, Tim Brown crossing the line with a 35.2. So it looks like he's starting to build back up after perhaps a bad lap. Stibbles and Sean Smith, the gap still similar. So Stibbles doing a good job at the minute. Smith was definitely struggling with the setup earlier. It seems like he's still struggling with the setup now, Adam.
Yeah. Okay, so Stibble and Smith have just both set a 139 and 138. Oh! Stibble's off!
Oh, and that's the work put in to get past and keep that position when coming back out in the pits. Oh, it's all gone. Hopefully, rein something back in. Go back to that battle though. Oh, and now Sean Smith is
Smith's
gone.
off.
So is this going to allow Beth Stibbles to catch back up? Smith gets back underway. Stibbles won't be far behind though. Depends how quickly she got back underway. Simon Mannion, we're back with these two. It's the closest battle in the field right now. Really impressed by Simon's performance this evening. This is a really great race for himself.
Yeah, he's just not gaining though, is he?
No, he's just
That's the problem. He needs to find. In fact, he's losing time.
Yeah.
So he's lost half a second over the last lap. So he needs to find some time in one of these corners somewhere.
He does. He needs to find some time, probably a bit, almost everywhere, to make up that time to Kevin Davis. Now, he was there. He was with him and had that chance to maybe stick with him, and that chance has kind of disappeared. And the man coming in the back of shot there now, Paul Kitchener. Not seen much of Paul.
And there's Beth coming up 9th place.
Yeah.
She does seem to, does appear to be catching up with Smith.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be as though there is some catching. We'll wait and see in the next lap and see what their relatives are. This battle's still going on between these two. It's Kevin Davis getting the best though. Simon Mannion right now.
Yeah, he's pulling away.
Paul Kitchener. He's close. Do you think Paul is maybe waiting now until this next phase after these pit stops? See what happens?
I don't know. I mean, we've still got half an hour left on the race. There's still plenty of time. Anything can happen. I was just wondering. It looks. Is Lee pulling it away from Banslow, or is Banslow slowing down?
I think Lee is pulling away from Banzo because Banzo is pulling away from Kevil Davis. I think that could be what it is.
Where is Lee finding all this extra power?
It's just the
Stibble was off in the background.
Stibble's off. Sean Smith trying to get himself back underway. He's actually created a bit of a gap now between him and Stibbles, so
yeah.
that gap 4 seconds.
Yeah, that gap has been coming down gradually. It was 5 seconds just a couple of laps ago, so she is definitely gaining on Smith.
Okay, yeah, it's come down again, 3.9. As Van der Pasch in P7 loses it in the chicane. I think he's got back underway without any problems. Next car behind him will be either Matthews Lee or Sean Smith in terms of cars on circuit. Kitchener through the final sector. Tim Brown sort of just behind. He had a really good start to this race, Adam, but needs to start making a comeback like we said earlier.
Yeah.
It's not happened yet, has it?
No. He's on the medium tyre still, so he's still on the same tyres that he started the race with. So maybe he'll be looking to switch over to the softs and then really push. I mean, it's still all to play with. I mean, how far? We've got what? Plus 10, plus 17, plus 3.
A few laps to go.
Plus 6. Well, this is it. I mean, Brown could be looking at 4th place, maybe.
Yep. Yeah.
I think the top 3 is pretty much settled at this stage, unless something really drastic goes wrong. These guys look like they're in the groove.
Yeah, these drivers definitely looking like they are in the groove now. Matthew Lee catching up to Stibbles. She's going to be 2 laps down in a moment. That's not something that any one driver really wants, but Matthew Lee has been so dominant in these Formula 2 cars, and he is flying along here at Watkins Glen. It's not a surprise. Kitchener just wants to catch up to Mannion, and I think he knows he can do it, but credit to where credit's due. Mannion now only 2.9 seconds off Kevil Davis.
Yeah.
And Kitchener 7 seconds behind, so this is turning into a really good race for Mannion. For Tim Brown, maybe not so much what he was expecting coming from the podium in the sprint.
Actually, have any of the top 3 had their pit stops yet?
No one's had their pit stops apart from Stibbles and Smith at the minute. So when those pit stops do start, Stibbles goes round. We didn't see that. Well, we didn't see all of that, but we saw the start of that. Hopefully she rejoins safely. Kitchener. We've got this really fast back straight, and it is a brilliant back straight. As we just catch up with Stibbles again. Getting a lot of airtime with Stibbles in the BWT car. And here we go. Does this... I don't know if this technically is going to launch the pit stops sequence of other drivers, but Van der Pasch is the first driver to come in this late into the race.
Oh, Stibbles off again.
Stibbles having a bit of a nightmare. Van der Pasch, I don't know if he changed tyres there. I think he must have changed tyres. And he has. He was on the softs.
Yes, he's on the mediums.
Looks like he had fuel to go to the end.
Interesting.
Loses that lap to Matthew Lee. Matthew Lee is yet to pit, so he will get that lap back and potentially try and stick with Matt Lee now. Does that set off the pit strategies for other drivers? I think it does.
Someone else is in, yep.
This is going to be key now. This is where we start seeing things.
This is it, yeah. This is where it starts to change a little bit at the front.
Simon Mannion coming in. A strong first stint from Simon Mannion, Adam, and we'll see what tyres he gets on. But extremely strong stint from the Scot there in that first stint. And Simon comes out the pits. It was a quick stop.
It was a
Much
quick
messing
stop.
around. Again, I think they feel to the end. And he's going to come back out, and he is on, I believe,
Softs
it
again.
says softs, but I don't know if he was running softs earlier, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
That might be a problem for Simon Mannion. We will soon see. Not sure if the relative has caught up yet. We'll wait and see. Meanwhile, Kitchener now P4. What can Kitchener do? Kevil Davis hasn't pit yet. So we'll wait to see what Kevil Davis does. If he's going to pit, now is probably about the right time. Give or take a few laps, I'd say. It's about time for the new tyres to be on. If he wants to secure that third position, Adam, because Mannion wasn't slow. We'll wait and see what happens with his tyres. Obviously, he shouldn't be on the same compound. There we go. Has it changed? Is it caught? Nope. No, he is on softs. So Simon either has to pit again, or he will not be classified at the end of this race, which is going to be a heartbreak, Adam. That would be an absolute heartbreak, wouldn't it?
Yeah, unless he's going for a two-stop strategy, but I can't see why you would do that on a 45-minute race.
I don't see why you would do that either. Obviously, it will be reviewed post-race. Unfortunately, we don't have live stewards here at CRS, so everything does have to be done post-race. And that gives everybody a chance to have a bit of clarity and look at things. Kitchener, Brown, the fight goes on. And do you know what? Adam? Last week, these two fought tooth and nail at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and in the feature race, we're here again, and those two fighting tooth and nail for that spot. So back at it again.
Yeah.
Great to see. And Sean Smith just
coming up on Van der Pash there.
I think Van der Pash is wanting to get through. Van der Pash is a lap ahead, so Sean does need to move out of the way here. He is a lap down, unfortunately. And it's actually the driver behind that both of these drivers need to think about. And that's Banslow in P2. He needs to think about moving out of his way. Much quicker is Banslow. 9.19 seconds to Lee, so he's keeping that gap, Adam. Not completely losing sight of if Lee makes a mistake or anything like that, and Banslow could be right back in this, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Let's Kevil Davis through. Nice bit of sportsmanship. 18 minutes left to go. Time whittling down and whittling away. Sean. Unique racing line from Sean Smith. Van der Pash getting a bit loose in the final couple of corners. He's going to have to make way for the guy in P2 behind that is Banslow. And he does so. He's going to move out of the way.
Has Kevil pitted yet?
Kevil Davis hasn't pitted yet. Oh, and Tim Brown!
Oh, and Tim Brown's in the wall.
Oh, no. I don't know.
He's
where
not
that's
having
gone
much
wrong
fun.
for him.
He's not having much fun on this race.
He's not. And he's going to have lost so much time to Kevil Davis. To Kitchener, sorry. Van der Pash doing his thing, but Kitchener there is going to... In fact, I'd be surprised if Kitchener does not pit this lap. That is a massive opportunity now to gain some time. Van der Pash. Whoa, saves it. That was close. Simon Mannion needs to pit again. So his race was looking good, but don't think he's going to be, well, he won't be included, unfortunately, Adam. And that's such a shame, isn't it? Such a shame.
Yeah. But also, we still need leader coming to the pits as well. So
Yeah. Still a lot of drivers leaving it until the dying, well, not the dying moments, but
yeah, but to be fair, they have got a fair lead on the rest of the pack. I think that they can basically pick and choose when they come in.
yeah, they definitely can. Matthew Lee with a 32.6. Still got pace in those tyres.
Yeah, it's amazing actually.
Soft still staying together. Kitchener on the mediums. So
I mean, I would be expecting the softs to be getting a bit thin about now.
I would as well, but it looks as though
Certainly within the next 2 minutes, next couple of laps.
Yeah,
Gotta be.
definitely should start to get a bit weary on those soft tyres. Some of those drivers. Beth Stibbles on the hard tyres. She's not got that problem. She needs to drive it to the end. Tim Brown had that problem. Simon Mannion right behind, but as we said, tyres mitigating may not be included in the final results if he doesn't pit again. He might pit again, like you say, Adam. He might have a double stop, and that wouldn't make sense, would it? But that's the only option he's got now, isn't it? To at least classify himself in the finishing results.
Yeah. What sort of lap times are we getting here on the mediums? We've got any lap
32s and
times.
31s. Some range of
Oh,
times.
underpass
Struggling.
again.
Sean Smith going back past Van der Pasch. Van der Pasch will get told will be. Sorry, Sean Smith will be showing the blue flag. And in comes the race leader.
Here it comes in. Yeah.
Does this start a domino effect? I'm not sure. Will Banslow decide to stay out?
They must. No, they must. They've got to come in. Their tyres cannot be lasting much longer.
Banslow's decided to stay out. So
stay out. Look. Wow.
if Lee comes out in front of a group of cars, this could be a problem. But I think he's okay. He's come out in a nice gap there. He's not going to be hounded by the two drivers behind, so he can crack on. Banslow maybe hoping that he did get caught up behind people, but Kevin Davis now in as well.
Yeah.
Kevin Davis currently P3. Really good job from Kevin Davis so far, but Kitchener now P3 on those mediums. He can take those mediums much further than those softs. Don't get me wrong, these drivers have driven for 30 minutes on the soft tyres.
Yeah, which is
Kevin
amazing.
Davis on the super soft tyres. Someone goes off in the background. That's Simon Mannion. No, Simon. It's all unravelled from Mannion. It was going so well earlier. All unravelled.
That was a big off though, wasn't it?
Big off, a big slide. He corrected it though. It's still there.
Back with Steph. Bless her. Bless her. I think she deserves the driver of the day. Look at her. That's what we like to see. Stay out of the way of everybody else.
And,
good for you, girl. Good for you. You're welcome on our servers any day. Just hook me up and I'll race you.
Kevin Davis just got past Beth. Kevin Davis hunting Brown. But crucially, Brown hasn't stopped. So this is a futile battle, really. Brown on those mediums, though. They're not going to be as good as those super softs, but those super softs, Adam, they're not going to last forever.
No, but they've only got 15 minutes. I mean, it's totally doable.
Absolutely.
It'll be tight, but you know, I mean, the guys at the front, they kind of know. Lee, I mean, he knows what he's doing. He knows how far he can take those super softs. He did it in qualifying, so.
Kitchener comes in the pits. And
not really a surprise, actually.
No, well, that gives the opportunity to Tim Brown, who's still in front of Kevin Davis, despite the tyre advantage from Davis.
But only just.
Only just, but Is that going to hurt him or help him now, as he's got to stop soon? He has to stop soon now. Kitchener has stopped. Is it the undercut or the overcut that is the quickest? We will wait and see. Someone was getting back underway there. I believe that was Van der Pasch, who needs to clear out of the way of everyone.
Oh,
And he does so. Banslow,
yeah.
race leader, now in. And Matt will take the race lead back. A good stint from Banslow, Adam, and
He needs to get
good
out
drive.
quick, doesn't he?
Lee already
Yeah,
coming through
gone.
turn 1.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be a few seconds gap there to come out to.
hopefully Banslow not caught up in any traffic. Looks like it's going to be a clear track for him as well. Although he just might meet Sean Smith on the exit. He may just get held up ever so slightly. But I'm sure Sean Smith will let him through quite promptly. Kevin Davis now really chasing Tim Brown. I think that might be, yeah, Tim Brown making his way into the pit, so he's making his stop. He knows his race isn't with Kevin Davis, it's with Kitchener. And so now we wait patiently, Adam, because this could be it. Simon Mannion made his stop, but like I said, unless he stops again, it's not looking good. He may get completely left out
Oh,
of the
who's this?
results.
Van der Pasch off again.
Van der Pasch span.
He's not very happy, is he?
Spanderpash at the minute.
No.
Um,
He's having a moment.
yeah. Sean now, I think he just has to finish the race, doesn't he? Adam, it's been a pretty struggling evening for him. He's not felt confident with the setup. He's not felt confident with the car. You know, but credit where credit's due. He's still there, still in it, and he's not last right now. And
Nope.
the driver, someone went off. I think that was Van der Pasch.
Again.
I think, is Van der Pasch going to start to drop here? Could Sean actually gain another place? That could be interesting. And if he does gain that place off Van der Pasch, that could end up being 6th place.
But why is Van der Pasch coming off so much now? I mean, that's something very strange going on with this car.
Yeah, definitely something not right. I agree there.
Let's see, he's on the softs. Maybe his tyres are degraded. He's got no traction. Something not right.
Possibly, yeah. Something definitely isn't right. He's on the mediums, I think.
Oh,
at the moment.
who's that?
That's Van der Pasch.
Who's Van der Pasch?
He's still not entirely sure what's going on with Van der Pasch's evening. Matthew Lee. He's in a world of his own here. That Red Bull liveried Carlin machine. Meanwhile, how's this going? Tim Brown, 6 seconds off Kitchener.
Yeah, I'm going to stick my neck out here and say that Van der Pasch has got suspension damage. It's the only thing I can think of that would be driving him off into the walls like he is.
Yeah, looks like
Yeah.
his wheels straight, so
Yeah, but he's coming in. He's
I don't know.
there. Look,
It could
there's
be-
something not
yeah,
right.
Could be something to do with the rear.
Or it could be the aero. Maybe he's damaged his aero. So it's not. It doesn't show. You can't see anything serious, but
No.
it doesn't need to show if your camber, your toe's been pushed out just a slight amount. Then
Yeah, it
that
can
can send you off. If
Yeah.
you lose your aero, you've got no downforce, and you try and push it, then it can snap. It happens.
It does indeed. Obviously, 10 minutes left of this race, Adam, but next week, the final round. And obviously 2 races next week at Laguna Seca. And
Yeah, see, Van der Pasch has just dropped to 8th place now.
yes, he has.
Yeah.
So Smith
Yeah.
making that move and actually making himself up to 7th. He's going to be happy with that. Mannion still in P4, but he needs to stop again. Otherwise, it will be investigated post-race. It will be looked at to see which tyres he started on. I'm sure he was on the softs though.
Stibble could be lucky. Take Van der Pasch if he has any more unlucky incidents.
Actually, good. It's only 44 seconds, but if Van der Pasch has another problem, that 44 seconds will disappear very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're very right indeed.
Just goes to show if you stay with it, just try and see it to the end. You can just gain a lap just by being in the race.
Well, the question is now: has Van der Pasch, who did have pace earlier? Yeah. Sorry, with Kevin Davis, but Van der Pasch had the pace in the last race, didn't he? So has he got the pace to now catch back up to Sean? He's only 2.8 seconds behind. Lost a bit of time, but no, he's lost it again.
No, he's lost it again.
Struggling with maybe tyre heats on those medium tyres. Sean on those hard tyres, and the hard tyres are not heating up as bad as the mediums. Definitely a hot track now.
But then you've got Lee out there on the super softs. I mean, you can't really use that as an excuse, can you?
Exactly. You've got Lee, Banslow, and Davis. Kevin Davis, all on the super softs. So.
My money is definitely on either aero or suspension damage. Even like I said, even the slightest, if your wishbone outs out the front, just by the slightest amount, it can throw you off through some of these corners. You hit a curb wrong, yeah, it can really snap and not behave how you're expecting. So, and the same with if you lose your front aero, you got no chance of turning in, so you end up going wide on the corners. Or if you got no aero at the back, then back end can snap round. It's
it can be
not ideal.
No,
there could be a million reasons.
It can be a million reasons, but there's definitely an outlier for some of these drivers, I think. Varying skill levels, of course, and this is why maybe the gaps are bigger than they usually would be in other series, but that's something that we pride ourselves on here at CRS. Sean,
Smith off.
Oh dear. But Van der Pasch has spanned enough times to give Sean enough gap there, so...
well, this is it. I mean, the gap between Stibble and Van der Pasch has gone down 4 seconds, so...
Yeah, it has, and it's getting big. It's getting smaller. Meanwhile...
Oh, who's that?
Oh, and that is... I thought it was Van der Pasch again, I think. So, Mannion lapping his teammate. Van der Pasch getting underway. Paul Kitchener would inherit this P4. I mean, he will if Mannion has to stop again.
Oh, no way. Who was that?
Van der Pasch around again.
You're kidding me. The way the car's going around, I'm going to put my money on suspension damage. He's definitely got suspension damage.
Got to be something going on there with...
yeah. My guess is front left.
I can hear he's gone again.
Front left. Telling you.
Retiring the car now if it's that bad.
Yeah. I must admit, I don't like retiring, but I would certainly consider coming in or getting repairs and finishing last, but at least finishing, you know.
Yeah. He's gone again.
He's gone again. I know. I heard it.
Stibbles 6 seconds.
Wow, she's gonna make the gap up.
God.
He's staying out. He's not even gone in the pit.
Oh my word! And Lee is behind these two.
God. Oh,
Stibbles gets
I just
through.
hope he doesn't take her out.
Stibbles on away, and oh my word, I don't know what's going on with Van der Pasch.
Look at that, go for it, Beth. Look at you. I told you, driver of the day. It just pays to just stick with it.
It's close though.
I know.
Which way is he going to go? Is he going to play a game here? Stibbles going to second guess it, and is Matthew Lee going to be interrupted by this? Oh no, and they've gone!
Oh no, Beth!
Oh no!
What happened there?
That will be reviewed post-race, I think.
Yeah, I mean, are we looking at netcode incident?
I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Getting
back on circuit. Stibbles was so close there, and that's such a shame. Lee had to be on his wits there a little bit, and with 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go, Adam. I don't think Matt Lee wanted that.
No. I think he probably had a bit of a squeaky bum moment.
Yeah, a bit of, that would have been better without that.
There's that Mannion coming in.
So did he decide to double stop? And is he now going to go on to super softs? Let's see. Is this the plan? Looks like he is going to at least get some points. Glad to see that that's the case. A really good performance from Mannion to be running P4 for most of the race. He's come in the pits. That was a very quick stop again, and he's back out on the softs. How very strange indeed.
Yeah.
Rather than a points removal or disqualification things will be looked at regarding that. I think there's more of an issue going on there than just change tyres. So that will be reviewed post race. Meanwhile, Stibbles and Van der Pasch wheel to wheel.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not
did Van der
over.
Pasch give the place back?
Possibly, you know.
Was it? Or did he force it off
Banslow
the track?
wants to get through this grouping. Is Beth smart enough to just go, let him go? Because he's going to have to pass Van der Pasch. And if she can pass... Oh, this could be dangerous. Van der
Could be
Pasch.
interesting. This is where they collided last time.
Van der Pasch makes it through. Stibbles now chasing Van der Pasch. This battle getting really hot towards the end of the race. It's the closest battle in the field. And so we are going to sit with it for the moment in time. Meanwhile, your top three. Rather large gaps there, Adam. 17 seconds, 37 seconds. It's a big gap between the drivers, but this battle right here, this is something we want to see. As Van der Pasch goes around again.
He's gone again.
Oh dear. He's having real problems with the car, and
he's definitely got a setup problem. He's got to have a setup problem of something.
Must be. It can't be damaged because he definitely was racing nice and clean. He's gone round
Again.
Oh dear.
Tyres, maybe? What tyres is he on?
I'm not entirely sure.
Mediums. It can't be tyres.
Sean Smith was last at one point in this race. Now P7, and that might be a good comeback for him, Adam. With 2 minutes to go. It's been a short race, really. It's been quite short. It's felt short, anyway.
Yeah, I mean there were large periods where not a lot happened, but it's certainly in the second half of the race, certainly the last 10 minutes. It's really picked up, hasn't it? It's got quite exciting. It's at the back of the pack, though. I mean, you don't normally spend your time at the back of the pack.
No, it definitely lulled for a moment. I think could be Van der Pasch. It's gone off again. There's a yellow flag on his name. Kevin Davis, though. A return to the Formula 2, return to the road to Indy entirely. He was in the Formula 4s and did take part in the first Formula 3 race of the season. But he's back for Formula 2, P3. And Sean just needs to let Kitchener go there. It's not for position. He does so. In a promptly and correct way, that's how you do it. Mannion.
Is that Van der Pasch off the road again?
Still off the road.
I saw a cloud of smoke, I just called it.
And I think Matthew Lee's coming to cross the line to start the final lap. He is on the final lap now with a minute to go. Pit lane is closed. And these drivers made their stops, so the positions are relative, and it looks as though Kitchener has made a storming return. He's going to be looking for that P4. Van der Pasch, I think, is stuck, I believe. Not entirely sure what's going on with Van der Pasch. Tim Brown now wanting to get back past Smith. To get through, he needs to chase after Kitchener. He's got this last lap coming up to do it, Adam, and this battle has been ongoing since Road Atlanta, really, and here they are. Still, it's either one in front of the other, and it's looking good, isn't it, between these two? I'm wondering what's going to happen at Laguna Seca.
Oh, I love that track. The corkscrew. I can only imagine. I can't imagine, actually. I can't imagine. That is a tricky track. Oh, Lee!
The leader, as he comes around the final corner to take the win here in the feature race of Formula 2.
And
Matthew
somebody's off in
Lee,
the back.
A really good, strong race from Matthew.
Oh, Van der Pasch is struggling to get across the line.
Gets himself going. Looks like his tyres are completely cooked.
I was going to say...
Banslow finishes P2. Strong podium finish from Banslow. Vegetables is the next car to cross the line. She's going to finish a couple of laps down, or a lap down.
A lap down, yeah.
In
Yeah, just
P8.
one lap.
Not the best performance of the season from Stibbles, but there's still some time to make up with the final race at Laguna Seca next week. Kevin Davis, a return to the Formula 2 stable, getting ready for that IndyCar debut. And here he is, finishing P3 on the podium, his first podium of the Formula 2, so definitely going to look forward to speaking to Kevin Davis in the comms room as he comes through the final corner. I'm sure a bit of weaving is going to be enticed here, as it's his first podium of the Formula 2. A really good job from him. And Paul Kitchener, a really great result from Paul. P4 as he crosses the line just away from the podium. Tim Brown, so close actually, Adam. That was incredibly close between those two. Sean Smith, I think, is the final car to cross the line.
There we go.
And I believe I think that's Dan Van der Pasch using the rest of the tyres that you had. Mannion congratulating one of the drivers, I think, getting side by side. Matt Lee and Banslow. Banslow hounding the rear of Matt Lee there. A good performance from Mannion this evening. Adam, considering where he's been in the last few races, it's good to see that he was fighting for P4 and P5 at one point.
Yeah, definitely. And congratulations to Beth bringing up the rear there. She gained a place, she did not finish last.
Yeah, a really good performance from
Fantastic.
every driver actually. Van der Pasch, really good at the start, but sadly at the end there, faded away. I'm sure we'll find out throughout the week why that was, and we'll find out, we'll all be told in the next race weekend at Laguna Seca. Meanwhile, your race winner, he's going to do some donuts on the... Oh, he's hit the battery, right? He's going to try and do some donuts to celebrate his race win. He's very close to being the championship decided, Adam, and looking like it's going to be Matthew Lee. It's going to be
surprise.
champion. It's not a surprise at all. He is defending IndyCar champion as well, so he will be going on. He'll be going into that with that around his belt. But there we go. Another great race, I think, and some close battles, some close fights with some different types of drivers. Mannion definitely my driver of the day today. Your driver of the day, Adam?
Beth, bless her, she kept going, and that's what I like to see in a driver. It's always great to watch the guys at the front there in the battles in between, but I'm always with the underdog. Me and Hector both. That's again why we set up Black Box. It's for the poor racers, the ones that can't afford the Moser steering wheels and they don't have all the advantages of everybody else. We're out there for have a bit of fun, and that's what it looked like she did. She was out there to have a bit of fun, have a bit of a race, which she got in the end with Van der Pasch. Unfortunately, I'd like to know what happened through the chicane there, if there was driver error. It looked like possibly there might have been driver error, but he gave the place back by the looks of it, so all good. But yeah, interesting race, great fun. Not as exciting as I expected from the mid-pack. There was a bit of battles, there were a few battles in the mid-pack, and it was very quiet at the front. I mean, Lee just took the race into his own palms and just run with it. We did it really, and everyone else was just trying to keep up. So yeah, well played.
Yeah, great race, a really good summary there. And fantastic. Well, we've got our podium sitters from the future race here as usual. We go from third to first. So Alex Kevin Davis, congratulations on your third place in your return to open wheel racing. Well deserved third place. How did you feel that went for you?
It was pretty good. I made some mistakes in the bus stop, so I kind of backed off. And once I realised I wasn't going to catch Banvelo and Matt and P4 really wasn't catching, I can just ease off and just go with the plan. So yeah, happy days.
And what kind of strategy were you running towards the end there?
The super soft.
Oh,
So it was I think 20 laps, and then the last is super softs.
Yep.
It went well.
well, congratulations on that P3, mate. Adam, any questions you want to ask Alex?
No, I mean it's an impressive race. I think the strategy certainly paid off. It's certainly the way that I would have probably gone. Did you start on the softs? You started on the softs, didn't you?
Yeah, started on the soft and then switched to the super soft.
Brave. Yeah, nice. Well done.
Thank you very much.
P2, another P2, Banslow. How are you feeling? That was another podium for yourself, and bagging those points to definitely secure P2 in the championship.
Yeah, kind of getting used to this P2. It was quite a lonely race.
Yeah.
But happy I didn't make too much mistakes and managed to keep quite a quick pace.
Obviously, some of you guys coming across some of the back markers towards the end there. Did that change the race in any way for yourself, or was that just part of the race and you got through it no problem at all?
Yeah, it's just a part of the race. I didn't want to get in any trouble, so sometimes kept a bit of a distance to them.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, fantastic job from you, Banslow. P2, another P2, like I say. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Matt, another P1. We're starting to see this as a pretty regular occurrence in the Road to Indy series in general. But a close one there at the start. Banslow got a jump start on you there, and you managed to get back on the back straight there. It would give us a bit more info into how that all came about at the start.
Yeah, it's lack of revs, and yeah, it was pretty idle start, to be honest. Yeah, lazy. Not the best.
But nonetheless, P1 for yourself, obviously coming through, getting past Banzo at the start there, and then just kind of driving off into the distance. Good strategy for yourself, obviously. A lot of drivers behind you running the same.
Yeah. Like I said, the sprint race was like a trial to see if the super softs work, and they. I did enjoy them, so I stuck with it. And yeah, Banslow kept me honest all race. I mean, he says it was a lonely race, but I still had to be on top of my game to keep that lead.
I must admit,
Yep.
yeah, I was just gonna say to Matthew. I mean, on that last corner of the last lap, just before the finish line, you went a little bit wide. I saw dust kick up or something. I really honestly thought you were going into the wall there. Was that intentional?
No, it was there was a slight distraction on track, and I was just trying to keep an eye on that and not watching what I was doing. So
that would have been devastating. That would have been devastating. Yeah, no, good race. I mean, there was such a gap. It was like, wow. I mean, this guy is just pulling away from the rest of the team. There's no way they can catch him. We did wonder during the pit stop strategy whether things would change around much, but they just didn't. Everything kind of settled back into play again. So yeah, good race, nice and tidy, very very smooth, slick even.
You've got to be against Banslow. He's a quick guy.
Well, great racing from everybody this evening. Well done to you three. Thanks for joining us in the comms box. It's been a good evening. Hope you enjoy your podiums. And we'll see you next week for the final race at Laguna Seca. Cheers, guys.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, Adam, it's been a good evening of racing, pretty close. And as you want to maybe give a bit of a rundown on what we've been through this evening, I'm going to go and grab the points. So I'll let you just do a bit of a rundown.
Well, I was going to say, I was wondering if we could get Beth in it, because I want to hear from the back mark. I want to hear her story. What happened? Can we get Beth in here? I'm not sure Van der Pasch will want to speak about what happened to his race.
Well, we'll get Beth in here to have a quick chat while we
there she is. Beth, hello Beth.
Hello.
So, tell me about your race.
Oh, I think it was I had a bit of a mixed bag really. Had a really interesting start. Got off the line very well. Kind of pulled along. Kind of got a little bit cut off. Going into turn 1, tried to make some moves through the pack as you kind of do.
Uh-huh.
Lap 2, Just kind of involved in a little bit of an incident with Van der Pasch and Simon Manningham. I've just been talking that over with the drivers just now. I don't think any of us are specifically involved there. I think it's just a little bit of miscommunication. We'll see what the stewards have got to say about that.
Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I came to the pits. Tyres were cooked. And then a slight error from my strategy crew ended up me having 20 laps extra fuel in the tank than I needed.
Oh!
So I was absolutely kind of just stuck, held it to dry by strategic decisions. Went
Gutted.
on, tried to go into the hards thinking they'd last. They did last. They just kind of couldn't get the temperature.
Yeah.
A few laps before the end, had another collision with Van der Pasch that I'm going to be referring to the stewards because I'd like to have an investigation.
Was that on the chicane there? We were watching as you came through the chicane. It looked like he got you from behind.
Yes, I'm not entirely sure what's happened. I've only had a very quick chance to look at a replay, but I just, I broke for the corner normally. I kind of saw that Matt was kind of behind us.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of contact happened. It's frustrating, obviously. I'm not going to try and apportion blame here because I've not had a chance to look at it yet, but
yeah,
it certainly will be something that will be looked at by the stewards.
Yeah, I mean, from our perspective, it was kind of hard to tell. I had a feeling that something happened. We weren't sure if maybe Netcode got involved with the two cars coming very, very close, or if it was a slight punt. But did he return the space tube? Did he?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was doing later on in the lap.
Yeah, because the next time we came back to you, you were definitely in front of him. So that's what we pulled from that. We'll have a look at the replays though.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I mean, you kept in there. You were a lap down on the rest of the pack, almost the rest of the pack. But you kept going all the way to the end, and that's the most important thing. And you didn't finish last.
Yeah, I don't like quitting. So
that's what we like to hear.
Well done from yourself, Beth. A really good job, and you're the driver of the day this evening. Really good job and some really good comeback from yourself.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, well done this evening. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week at Laguna Seca.
Yes, no, I'll see you guys next week.
Cheers, thank you. Well, Adam, Beth, with the driver of the day, I think I can agree that after that performance and the laps and the racing that she was having, come back from Beth there.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. They had 20 laps, too many laps of fuel in the tank. I mean, I must admit, I've gone out on more than one occasion and only had half a race worth of fuel on board. So doing a 20-minute race with 10 minutes worth of fuel on board is never a good idea. No. So it happens. It does happen. You do sometimes. It's easy to make strategy mistakes like that. So yeah.
It's been a good evening of racing. We're at Laguna Seca next week for the same time. Adam, will you be with me next week?
Absolutely, and I'll make sure that I got my statistics and everything else up on the screen. I didn't have anything with it this week. I've had a bit of a busy week, so that's my excuse. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me this evening. Obviously,
absolutely.
Obviously, we're looking forward to the IndyCar season as that starts in a few weeks. But this has been Watkins Glen International CRS Formula 2 Championship. If you want to get involved, feel free to join Discord in the description below.
Yeah, and obviously come across and join us on our servers. They're running 24 hours a day. We've got 10 events every day. Different cars from Formula 1 right the way through to Old Banger Jalopy Rallycross, which is one of my favourite series to run in at the moment. It's just a bit of fun, but you will get a ranking and also points. So yeah, if you're bored during the week, hop into our server. We're always there.
Yeah, hop into Black Box servers, guys. If you ever need some racing, that's definitely the place to go. And you'll be able to find a link to those Black Box servers and the Black Box Discord in the CRS Discord as well. So either way, there's a way to get racing. But in the meantime, we'll see you next week. It's going to be a fun race. There's going to be a tight battle to the end. It's only a few points in between now. We will just quickly mention the points actually before we go.
Yeah.
Matthew Lee with 183 points to Banslow on only 164. So there's only 20 points between the two, and it's 25 points for a win. So anything can still happen as it's still open at the top, but looking like Matthew Lee is really controlling the field. Tim Brown with 130 points. He is securing that P3 right now with Paul Kitchener on 114 in P4. Ben Rowley, who currently isn't in the field, may be back next week. He's got to fight to maintain P5 against Simon Mannion, who's also on 92 points. So he could get his best finish of the season. Sean Smith, 80 points. He's a little bit off Simon Mannion, but could make up those positions next week at Laguna Seca. We know he's a very capable driver. Tom Van der Pasch got some incidents to get looked at into, but 76 points right now. P8 in the championship. Beth Sibbles, today's driver of the day. She's P9, 70 points. Jimmy Murray, who wasn't here this week, 64 points. Zoranovic, who was the race 1 winner in both races, he's on 63 points. In 11th, with Kevil Davis, our newcomer, on 50, Anthrax on 44, and Daniel Salas, who hasn't been racing this week, with 22 points. So it's a pretty close battle. Definitely close at the top. But all in all, it's been fun. And
Yeah.
Thanks very much for joining, everybody. We'll see you again.
See you next week.
See you next week at Laguna Seca. Bye for now.
Ding dong.